Have you ever been in a relationship and struggled with the either meaning of unconditional love or the application of unconditional love? Um, and, um, you know, wondered if eh, it's healthy to stay in the relationship with all the conflict that has occurred, or if it's unhealthy. That is the topic today. All right, friends, welcome to the channel. My name is Corey Abernathy here with the Base Channel, standing for Be and Stay Encouraged. Today, we're talking about a touchy, um, subject on love and unconditional love and how to show it, how to recognize, I guess, when someone else is showing it, and then also how to foster that. If you're not showing it, realistic, practical ways of how to show it. Okay, so today we are going to look at a article, and this article, or a few articles, but this first one is from Healthline, and it talks about unconditional love. Here, can we? I think we're already big enough. Okay, so we'll take that off, and okay, so here we go. Now, unconditional love. So, if you don't know, if you don't know what that means, let's look at the definition. So, um, and this is actually where the article came from. So, okay, so let's look at the definition, guys. Unconditional love here, right? Okay, so it says unconditional love, simply put, is love without strings attached. It's love you offer freely. You don't base it on what someone does for you in return. You simply love them and want nothing more than their happiness. This type of love, sometimes called compassionate or agape love, might sound somewhat familiar. Now, as a believer, we are called to have that agape love. We are called to have a love, that's patient. A love that's forgiving. That's enduring. That lasts. Through the test of time, because we all know that relationships will be tested. Sometimes we get into relationships ourselves before we're ready. Sometimes we get into relationships with others before they're ready. And then you know, but, just like what you would expect, something is conflict is going to happen. If you're not mature enough, to be in a relationship, how can you expect that to last over time? So let's take a look at this article, guys, um, and and just see what this says. So this is some good stuff, guys. But okay, so here it goes, and we'll kind of zoom in a bit. Now, okay, so agape. Okay, so unconditional love. Okay, we read that. It's okay. So now, um, you don't base it on what someone else does for you in return. You simply love them and want nothing more than their happiness. This type of love, sometimes called compassion, agape love, okay, maybe it brings to mind the love of your parents, the love your parents have for you, or the love you have for a child. So if so if you have ever been in a relationship, you know it's different than a parent relationship. If you have a child, you know that relationship is different than a romantic relationship. But you don't have to have a child in order to understand that, because you are your parent's child, and you know the dynamics of that relationship. You know that your parents, most of us know, that parents, have that unconditional love. And although, they may, not do anything for us, there is not much that parents won't do, for their child. And the same thing should go for relationships. The same thing should go for marriages. And we should, I know everyone doesn't date, for marriage or for for that long term lifetime connection. But we still should be showing that same love. And that's why I tell, most people that I talk to, I'm always looking for a believer because, you're more safe in a relationship with a believer than you are with a non-believer. And so, I will always say that, and because a believer is can always be held accountable, to their faith, to what they believe, to what the scriptures say about, treating others, and there's just a motivation there to treat, everyone well, but especially your loved ones. And so when you're in a relationship, when you're in a relationship with someone, it shows that, you don't want to mistreat them. You don't want to, talk poorly of them. You don't want to, talk meanly to them. You just want to show that respect. And you want a mutual respect, but it's just a different type of respect. So let's keep reading here. So this, guys, this this article, and I'm going to include this in the description box. This article is a beautiful thing, and I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible. So we may not cover all the articles, but we will at least take a look at this one, because this one, it, you know, was a beautiful thing, and I think we'll all learn something from it. So, okay, so let's keep looking here, and let's make sure this can be seen. Did we already make that? Okay, so yeah, I believe that's good enough. Okay, so now, where did we leave off? I take two. Okay, so the love of a child. So when people often associate unconditional love with familial love, many look for this love in romantic relationships too. Wanting someone to love you for yourself, no matter what, is an understandable desire. Yet this type of love might still seem like the stuff of fairy tales and movies, not something most people encounter in real life. Okay, so this is good. This is and very true. So sometimes, we will base how someone else is supposed to treat us off of how our, mothers or fathers treated us, or people in our family treated us. So that is that's good, but that can be harmful or unhelpful, I should say, possibly both. But because some parents want to spoil their kids to death, and they, really truly show an unselfish, love, and they have the means to give their child everything they want. And then when that child gets in a relationship, they expect that same thing, and it's just not fair. Okay, it's not fair to your partner, to think that they have to treat you like your parent did. They aren't your parent, they're your partner, and it's on a different level. And I think we have, to see that, and we have to set our expectations, accordingly, or just more realistically. because we all can identify with that. If you weren't spoiled, you probably have a child who, at some point, if you don't haven't spoiled them their whole life, at some point you spoiled them. It's kind of hard not to spoil a little bitty precious little baby. That's hard. But okay, let's keep reading here. So, is the love? Put this on the screen. So, is is that the same size? Yes. Okay. So, um, is the love as elusive as it sounds? Is this love as elusive as it sounds? Can it even happen in romantic relationships? Read on for a deeper understanding of what unconditional love is and isn't, and some strategies for cultivating it. Okay, so now I think this is good to know not only what it is, to have a nice definition, but also to know what it is not. So let's take a look at what it is. So, unconditional love is a selfless act. You're not in it for yourself, though it may overlap with other types of love in some ways. Other elements set it apart. You can recognize it by these key characteristics. Okay, so let's stay tuned. Let's pay attention to what these are. So, okay, so the first one is it can benefit emotional health. Okay, a small study. Well, we don't have to be that far in. Okay, a small study explored the brain regions activated by feelings of unconditional love. The result of the study suggests that unconditional love activates some of the same areas of the brain's reward system that romantic love does. In other words, the simple act of loving someone unconditionally may produce positive feelings. Now, I like this, and this kind of, will go into, I don't want to go too far into, off topic, but, or too far down a rabbit hole, I should say. It's all on topic. But I just wanted to take a look at this real quick. What does oxytocin have to do with love? Researchers in one 2012 study found that couples in the first stages of romantic attachment had significantly higher levels of oxytocin than their unattached counterparts. But oxytocin is tied to more than just new love. It's also released during sexual activity and linked to the intensity of orgasms. Okay. So I didn't want this, to, be rated R, or but yeah, I think it's important to understand that. So when you're giving and loving unconditionally, when you meet someone new and you have all of these feelings and emotions and you see a promise, or you see a possible future with that person, we have these feelings, and it's all at the beginning. it's and after time, after offenses, after just our emotions and our pettiness and spitefulness, those feelings tend to fluctuate or dwindle, even. But that is where the challenge of knowing what unconditional love, or the challenge of maturity. I don't think you can even approach this topic if you don't have a certain level of maturity. So let's continue. So, okay, in other words, all right, so receiving unconditional love can also, let's take this off. Can also make a difference in emotional well-being. According, okay, we did that. In the study, okay, results, okay. Suggest parental unconditional love could offer some protection against the harmful, often lingering effects of childhood trauma. Okay, so let me see this. So, results from the 2013 study support the idea that loving children unconditionally improves their lifelong health and wellness. This suggests parental unconditional love could offer some protection against the harmful, often lingering effects of childhood trauma or abuse. And I think that's true. I think there is some truth to that. And you can kind of see it in certain kids. If you have friends or family members that, have a certain level of love capacity, to show, display the love, versus someone else whose capacity, is different, is on a different level. You can kind of see, you know, the difference in parenting styles, and and you can see it in the kids as well. In most cases. So, yeah. Man, I was actually talking to a friend about that last night, or the other day. But anyway, um, so let's continue. So, it feels secure. Now, unconditional love can provide a sense of security in both childhood and adulthood. Feeling confident in someone's love and knowing it won't go away can help create secure attachments and foster autonomy, independence, and self worth. So, okay, so I want to, you guys to take note. Now, this is, a beautiful thing. Unconditional love is always going to be a beautiful thing. We talked about the expectations of our partners versus our parents, and not expecting the same sort of unconditional love or the same exact, display. However, there is, of course, there is a realistic expectation to be treated well. Um, and, we're going to get into, this too. So let me just keep going before this video goes too long. So, okay. Um, Now, if your parents or caregivers will continue to love you even after you make mistakes or do things they don't approve of, from failing a class to having a drink at a party when you're underage, you'll feel more comfortable making your own choices and learning from them as you go. In the context of friendship, unconditional love might weather tests like conflict, falling out of touch, or differing life goals. When it comes to romantic relationships, unconditional love could mean that love doesn't go away despite challenges like life altering health conditions or changes in appearance or personality. This is good. So, well, let's take a look at this. Oh, are we at? Okay. And now, if you, okay, now, this is, you know, it's a fine line. We have to be, use our judgment here, when it comes to, forgiving. And we're going to touch on this, a little further too. Certain, we, of course, we want to be forgiving, we understanding, know that, no one's perfect. And, there's, we know our partners, so they're going to make some mistakes. However, if certain things breach that trust, then, there are certain things that, make you say, I never thought that you would do something like that. And breach or cross that boundary to where I feel that my trust, has been broken. And so, if it gets to a point like that, then you definitely have to consider, um, you know, consider or take that into consideration. But okay, let's keep going here. So now, altruistic. Let's take a look at this real quick. Let's take a look at the meaning. So altruism The belief in or practice of disinterested and selfless concern for the well being of others. The belief in or practice of disinterested and selfless concern for the well being of others. Okay. And so that, okay, and then let's take a look at this too. And I don't know if you guys caught this, but okay, the example, they said, or the sentence they use for an example is some may choose to work with vulnerable elderly people out of altruism. And I think we do have people out there that, you know, want to, that fall into that category. Some for the right reasons, some for the wrong reasons. But nonetheless, it's still a thing. So let's get back to it. Um, Altruism refers to helpful actions taken to support and benefit others, often at your own expense. In terms of unconditional love, altruism means you don't consider any potential benefits of loving someone. You offer your love for their support and benefit. Love, many say, is its own reward, but you typically don't get anything out of altruistic acts. This is one point of contention in discussions of unconditional love in romantic situations. So that is good. So sometimes, in relationships, we find ourselves saying, well, she didn't. Well, why should I do this? She didn't do that, or why should I do this if he's not doing that? So a lot of times uh, you know, we have to question: is our love unconditional? If we find ourselves saying those things, we have to ask ourselves: is our love unconditional, or as unconditional as we claim it to be? Because that's a thing too. Sometimes, we truly feel that our love is unconditional, and we have those feelings of, I would do anything for this person, and then something comes up and we say, no, I ain't doing that. No, I ain't. Hold on. No, I didn't mean that. Oh, you thought I meant anything? No, I didn't mean anything. you know. And then, the relationship ends up taking a toll. So, you know, we have to truly ask ourselves, are we meaning this like adults, or are we meaning this as kids? Sometimes kids can say things and they truly don't mean them. Which one are we being? And this is a perfect time to take a look at what the scriptures say about this. But let me finish um, this paragraph right here, this section. So, because healthy relationships, by definition, are mutually beneficial, this would seem to suggest that romantic love, at least within the boundaries of a relationship, can't be truly unconditional. Because healthy relationships, by definition, are mutually beneficial, this would seem to suggest that romantic love, at least within the boundaries of a relationship, can't be truly unconditional. Okay? It's okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. And let's move on. So it involves acceptance and forgiveness. So we got through three of them here. It can benefit emotional health. It feels secure. It's altruistic. And last but not least, it involves acceptance and forgiveness. So let's take a look at this. So people aren't, oh, we were taking a look at uh, the Bible verse. Well, let's just finish this up. So people aren't perfect. Let's get me off of here. People aren't perfect, and nearly everyone makes a few choices they regret. Unconditional love, however, requires unconditional acceptance. So you forgive mistakes and continue to offer love and acceptance, even, and this is important, if their choices distress you or cause harm. Okay, okay. All right, let's see where they're going. You can't love someone unconditionally unless your love remains unchanged despite their actions. You can, however, love someone unconditionally without having a relationship with them. Oh, this is good. So they tend to agree with the statement that I've made before, when talking about loved ones. And if you have a family member that you don't get along with, or you don't get along with, you know, should you make yourself, should someone else, should your other family members make you, or try to talk you, convince you, to be in relationship with them and hanging out and being vulnerable again after either some sort of breach in trust, um, of some way, should you be forced to still be connected, as far as hanging out. And they seem to say, after reading that, they seem to suggest, no, you don't have to. You can unconditionally love someone, and not be in relationship with them every day. So I agree. And all right, let's keep going. So, let me put this back up here. Okay. So, acceptance sometimes involves recognizing when it's unlikely someone will change and taking steps to protect your own well being. Hey, listen. Listen, people. That one is huge. And this is the reason why I take the stance that I do. No, acceptance sometimes involves recognizing when it's unlikely someone will change. We have to be able to accept this too. If someone is not going to change, you you are doing yourself and your family members that depend on you a disservice by staying in a situation where your trust has been broken, and in a substantial way, not just okay, you said you were going to go to the grocery store while I was at work on your day off. You said you would do that, and then I come home and you didn't even do it. You're there, answering call or emails, or you're playing video games. You're on the couch watching TV, and you haven't done what you told me you would do. Our trust, you broke my trust. That's not a reason, in my opinion, to throw away a relationship and not, you know, be in that relationship, if that relationship is, especially if that relationship, is feeding you, and you're getting, something from it. I wouldn't do that. All of, the people that are treating their relationships like their parents' relationships, and they can play that guilt trip on them, and it works hook, line, and sinker every time. And then you try to do this in relationships and you blow everything up, just so that you get your way, or so that other person now feels, like they're indebted in some way and they have to make up, and if you do that in relationships, you are doing yourselves a disservice. It is unhelpful, and it will cause, separation, alienation. You are alienating yourself, from your partner, because you're blowing this up and making a big deal out of it so you get what you want. You have them in a position of, okay, maybe I'll do it, I'll let me make it up, let me fix it. If you love to have your partner in that position, you know, that's unhealthy. There's something there that, that is unhealthy. And I'm saying this, from experience. So anyway, moving right along. So what unconditional love is not? Confusion. Let's take a look. Take me off. Confusion, and we can blow that up too. And bring it down one. Okay. So, confusion and misconceptions about the true nature of unconditional love can seem to suggest this type of love reflects unhealthy or toxic dynamics. Okay, let's read this. There's an important distinction between offering love and forgiveness and continuing to accept harmful actions. It's also important to understand you can love someone unconditionally without staying with them unconditionally. So good. Okay, let's scroll down a bit. And to clear things up a bit more, here's what unconditional love does not mean. Okay, here we go. Okay, let me get me on here real quick. Okay, so ignoring relationship issues. Unconditional love does not mean you ignore relationship issues. If there's a conflict that arises, it is in both parties' best interest to address it, discuss it, resolve it, make up from it, and move forward. Your relationship will be stronger. And this article touched on that earlier. Your relationship is going to be stronger. It'll be better because you just overcame a conflict. You resolved, you came to a peaceful resolution, and you showed that you're capable of it. So now you have evidence of, all right, if we go through something, we can work through it. It's nothing. And then you have also a feeling of confidence in that, or what is that? Not safety. Let me go back up here. Security. You have a sense of security, feeling of security in that relationship, and confidence that you can, overcome or work through different conflicts or disagreements. And then for the sake of time, we'll just try to go touch these real quick. Then I'll put the link to the article if you want to take a look at it yourself. Neglecting your own needs. That's not what this means. All the time. And let me read this though. So now it's true that unconditional love can involve some sacrifice. But these sacrifices shouldn't require you to give up everything, not everything, you need and want for yourself. Attempting to meet all your partner's needs can seem like one way of expressing unconditional love, but this can actually create an unhealthy dynamic in your relationship. No one person can provide another person with everything they need. This is big. This is big. Let me look in the camera, guys. If and women, if we are, guilty of this, it is unhelpful. It is unhealthy, and it is going to cause problems. Something is going to arise at some point. Even if someone hates to be confrontational and they just want to, all right, I'm just going to deal with it. I don't want to argue about it. If you care for your partner and you truly want them to be happy, you will not, put them in that sort of situation to where they are fully responsible for your happiness and you don't have to do anything. That is unhealthy and that can't last forever. Even if the relationship doesn't end in divorce, it's going to end in a early or premature death, in my opinion, because of the stress and the flinging, and the partner, trying to fling you around and round and round and make you jump, and just do all sorts of things. It's not healthy, and it's unhelpful, and it will lead, to the destruction. It will contribute to the deterioration of the relationship. So, okay. Now, where were we at? Let's go back here. Okay. And so, you should feel comfortable setting boundaries around things you don't want to do. What's more, they should respect your limits and consider any request that you make. So this is big. If you are one of those children that were, or people that were spoiled by your parents, and you are guilty of what the article is saying, and you are, you're holding your partner responsible for all of your happiness, you know, then if you truly love your partner and want the best for them, you will stop today. You will put it into that today, and then you will get back to considering and just the awareness of knowing there's two people in a relationship with two sets of needs, and two and feelings, or needs or whatever, and that need to be addressed and needs that need to be met. So if that is you, I encourage you, please, just be aware of that, and pray about that, and think about your partner, please. Okay, so let's continue here. All right, when you can't prove support. Okay, so when they can't provide the support you need, they might offer a potential compromise to help you think of some other solutions. Even when your love doesn't depend on their ability to meet your needs, you still have those needs. Everyone does. Unconditional love can't fuel a healthy relationship on its own. It's essential to take care of your own needs too, or you won't be in a position to support anyone else. So that's good, because we all need to um, take part in self care. We all need to make sure that we're emotionally healthy, mentally, healthy, and just um, able to um, um, just take care of ourselves, and make sure we have what we need to continue doing, or meeting whatever obligations that we have. And that includes, leading a family. Men and women are both leaders of their family. The man leads the household. The woman, in most cases, lead, the children, and take the brunt of the responsibility, of teaching them, the values, of, the family. So, all right. So tolerating abuse. What unconditional love is not? Tolerating abuse. A sense of safety is a basic human need. Perhaps your partner says unkind things after drinking. You might tell yourself, they wouldn't shout at me if they weren't drunk. You might accept that this is who they are and make the choice to forgive their words and continue loving them. But unconditional love doesn't mean staying in an unhealthy situation when you're better off. And this is good. And I had to recognize when I was being unhealthy. And again, a lot of these things that, I, bring, um, on this channel, the content is is around things that I've learned, things that have helped me, and I want to share that to potentially help other people. So there was a time where I was, guilty of the abuse of, oh Lord, just through my, words, and my actions, physical abuse too. Oh Lord, I hate to even say that, but anytime you are, you know, man or woman or brave enough to do something, even if it's not you and what you do now, you have to be man or woman or brave enough to admit what you did, and you just have to accept it. It just is what it is. The enemy wants to shame you. The enemy wants to make sure that you feel that or feel condemned and judged by others. But you have to have the confidence of knowing who you are and whose you are to be able to speak about that so that others can possibly learn from it. And if that happens, and if they do learn from it, then what you went through and what you did wasn't for nothing. And then there was good, and then God's word is true, and He did get good, out of that situation to those, from those, who believe in Christ. So yeah, I hate to, say it, and I cringe when I say it, but I did it. I did it, so I have to be able, to say it. And it's been, some time, but I still did it, and it wasn't just once. And I was full of just immaturity, and I thought like a child, and I behaved like a child. And I recognize it took, being held accountable, to recognize that and see that, listen, I can love unconditionally and not be, from a distance. And you do not have to subject yourself to things, that you can't handle, that you aren't okay with. So if you have certain boundaries that your partner crosses, and you would never be okay with, them thinking that's okay or doing that in the future, you have to take that into consideration, you know, and yeah, so yeah, but now back to this. So, tolerating abuse. Friends, if you are just even in a relationship where the arguing is constant, and it's dangerous. What's the word? If it's disrespectful, if it's offensive, if it's condemning, if it's all of those things, friends, you want to think very, very, very long, or seriously about leaving that relationship, because if that communication is not good, friends, it is going to, it cannot improve. The situation cannot improve. So let's finish this up real quick. We're almost at 45 minutes. I just wanted to do 10 minutes, but anyway, we're gonna keep going. So, okay, so unconditional love doesn't mean staying in an unhealthy situation when you're better off letting go. Hello. Sometimes, real quick, sometimes we, get in relationships, and we're thinking about the wrong things, but we're only thinking about the benefits, and then, you know, because we're only thinking about the benefits, we get ourselves in trouble. And then, sometimes we get tested on how much, we're willing to put up with. Okay, well, all right, yeah, you got the benefits, or you like the benefits, being in a relationship. But what about when I do this, though? Do you like the benefits enough to allow me to be able to do this and continue doing this, and and that's where we get ourselves in trouble because our thoughts are only on those benefits and thinking that that person is the only one that can provide those benefits, and then we refuse to even consider leaving the relationship, and that leads to issues. It leads to trouble. It leads to problems. It leads, sometimes, to, things that you just can't take back. So, yeah, we got to be mindful of those things. Exit, love from a distance if we need to, if it's more beneficial for both parties. Because a lot of times, you get in relationships or you have a friend or family member or whatever, in a relationship, what a partner, you're when you're together, it just doesn't work. But then when you're not together, all right, we can, you can be friends, and you're just better off, not being together and just supporting each other from, a distance. And then, yeah, so anyway, now, okay, is it even possible? So it goes over this. Reality love grows and shifts over time. It can also fade, okay, through no fault of, okay. And see, instead of seeking out an idealized, potentially unattainable type of love, try to try for a better, more realistic goal, mature love, which is mature love founded on compassion and respect. I think that's good. Sometimes, we have unrealistic expectations, like we talked about earlier, um, and then we aren't entering the relationship with the right expectations. Or even sometimes we don't even have the right motives. All of both of those things can get us in trouble. But if we don't have respect, no matter what we do, if the respect isn't there, it's not going to work. And if it does work for a while, it's not going to last. I can guarantee that. You can only, endure disrespect from someone that you love for so long, and then once you see that they're not going to change, it's up to you to make that decision to make a move. And then once you make that move, if someone loves you, or that person is going to be motivated to change, because the love someone has, you know, for another person will motivate them to change. I can say that with 100% confidence. I'm not saying that, everyone is on, the same, or that goes for everyone, but because some people refuse to change and they're just not going to change, and no matter what you do, and then others, they will. So, okay. Now, fostering it in your relationships. This is good, and then we're going to close after this. After we take a look at a scripture. Now, while a parent may love their child, let me take a look at this. Okay. Um, Now, here we go. Okay. While a parent may love their child from the moment of birth, romantic love can take a little more time and effort. These strategies can help you nurture and sustain deep, lasting love. Let me read that again. While a parent may love their child from the moment of birth, romantic love can take a little more time and effort. These strategies can help you nurture and sustain deep, lasting love. Okay, so here we go. Number one, offer respect when you disagree. This is good. You just because you disagree, it doesn't mean you have to be a jerk about it. You don't have to, call names and be immature or be a child, We don't have to be children about it. So you and your partner are two different people. So it makes sense you'll have a difference of opinion at some point. Many people think of conflict as something um, negative, but it isn't always bad. It can even improve the health of your relationship when handled in a productive way. And I mentioned that earlier. It shows an example. If when you work through it, it'll give an example of how you were able to do that and your capability of of doing so, of being able to do so. And okay, so when navigating conflict, it's important to accept any differences with respect. You want to send a message that says, I disagree with you, but I still respect your opinion. See, sometimes, guys, this, may sound a little soft and gushy or mushy or whatever. And then some people say, man, that's too, man, that's, homosexual, or that's, soft and weak and, you old punk, when you're trying to apply some of these things, this is what some non believers will say, because they want you having the same attitude and using the same destructive behavior as they do. And then they can talk and make fun and laugh and joke and all of that sort of thing about it. Um, and, and then you have to, clean up, you know, your own mess. So we have to be real careful about other people's opinions, allowing us to, not do what we know is going to work best for our relationship. All right, so let's keep going here. All right, where were we at? Navigating. Okay, once you uh, both express your opinions, you can begin working toward resolution. This might involve collaboration or compromise. Without respect, though, it'll be tough, if not impossible. Okay, practice communication. I think this is huge right here, guys. Um, uh, Good communication should be clear, honest, and timely. All the honest, open sharing in the world may not make much difference if it comes too late. By communicating with your partner, you show your respect. You show your respect and commitment to working through challenges and finding ways to meet conflicting goals. Challenges and finding ways to meet conflicting goals. Beautiful. For better communication, bring up issues as they arise instead of letting your irritation simmer and gather heat. Share your thoughts honestly, but also listen empathetically to what your partner has to say. Make sure to clarify when you don't understand something to better prevent conflict in the future. This is good. A lot of times, when things don't work out, it's because of that miscommunication. So, reiterating what you're saying or what you hear your partner saying is good, is helpful. Now, if you're not used to, okay, if you're not used to communicating in this way, plenty of us aren't, you're not alone. Um, just be patient. Be, be patient. Things will get easier with practice. Support each other. Most relationships that thrive involve plenty of mutual support. When your partner struggles, you listen with empathy or offer a helping hand, and they do the same for you. You stay mindful of their needs as well as your own, and they know you have their back when they're up against something they can't handle alone. This is good. Security. That's going to give your partner that security that hopefully you want them to have. Yeah, and that's another thing I always say for people that I meet. It's if you are feeling insecure or there's something going on, let me know. Let's talk about it because it's my job to make you feel secure. Let's address every area that you have doubt or that you have, that you may see some red flags, and let's talk about that and discuss it. and so and give me an opportunity, to make you feel secure about those issues. It's my job, and it should be your job if you're in a relationship. It's your job. Don't say it ain't my fault. You insecure. It ain't my fault. You're jealous. It ain't my fault. You do what you do. That's you. I can say whatever I want to, and you should be able to take it and whatnot. If you ever hear that, you may want to run. Just little tidbit that you may not want to stay too long because that shows a lack of empathy. Shows a lack of um, conditional, unconditional, you know, understanding or um, um, having that unconditional love, um, possessing, the ability to love unconditionally, I should say. Yeah. So yeah, we might want to pay attention to that. But anyway, okay. So support each other. Um, support each other. Most relationships that thrive. Okay, your partners. Okay, okay. Time may come. Okay, time may come when you find yourself sacrificing something for their benefit. Um, and hold on, let's see this. So a time may come when you find yourself sacrificing something for their benefit. But sacrifice and support should go both ways. A healthy relationship involves not just take, but also some give. So they'll likely make sacrifices for your benefit too. And the bottom line, here we go. Unconditional love might sound like a dream come true, but while love is one thing, a relationship is quite different. A healthy relationship does have conditions of a sort, your boundaries. If your partner doesn't respect your boundaries, the relationship isn't healthy, no matter how deeply you love them. Moving on from it then could be an act of unconditional love. So good. So the uh, having boundaries is okay with unconditional love. It's okay, and your partner and expecting your partner to respect those boundaries is not asking for too much. And if you feel like what your partner is asking is too much, then you should reconsider um, seeking a relationship. So, all right, guys, let's take a look at some scripture. Okay, where we at? Get out of here. Go here. Let's make this a little bigger. Okay. Now, this is talking about love and how we love and giving us the blueprint and telling us what love is. So the way to love. So if you're in a relationship and you are a believer, this is for you. And it's and it's and I want you to take in, be mindful. I want you to be aware of how verse 11 comes in when it's talking about love. So let's take a look. Okay, where we at? Okay, we'll leave me up. Now, so we're going to start at 1. If I speak in the tongues, where we at? 58, 59. Okay. If I speak in the tongues of men and of angels. So if I speak in the same language, what does this mean? In the Greek, glossa. gloss, glosse, glosse, of certain affinity, the tongue, by implication, a language, especially one naturally unacquired. One naturally unacquired. Okay, of certain affinity, the tongue. Okay. Um, of men and of angels, but have not love, I am a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. Okay. And if I have prophetic powers and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and I have all faith so as to remove mountains. If I have enough faith to move mountains, this is saying, okay, but have not love, I am nothing. So, friends, I think a lot of times we look at love as, or seek love, seek relationships to uh, feel something in us, to meet something in us that we want. A lot of times that's what we're seeking. It is something to feel that. And this is saying, well, what I am, this in the article is saying that unconditional love is selfless. So it's not just all about my needs. It's also about my partner's needs. So how often, have you gotten in a relationship to say that I am going to bless somebody? I am going to be somebody's blessing. Just watch, just wait. How many times have we said that? But okay, let's finish this up. To remove mountains and but we don't have love, we have nothing. If I give away all I have and I deliver up my body to be burned, but I have not love, I gain nothing. Verse 4, and we're in 1 Corinthians chapter 13. We started at 1, we're in 4. Love is patient. Now it's telling us the characteristics of love. Now it's telling us, okay, what does love actually mean? What really is it? It's about to tell us. Love is patient and kind. What does this mean? Okay, in the Greek, from the same as to be long-spirited, forbearing, patient, bear, suffer, long, be long-suffering, have long patience, be patient, patiently endure. Okay, love is, okay, is kind, and love does not envy or boast. Are you bragging? Are you boasting and bragging about yourself in your relationships? It is not arrogant. Are you arrogant or rude in your relationships? But you're also telling your partner that you love them. Is this the kind of love that you're showing, or are you showing this sort of love that is patient? Are you showing the patient, kind, a selfless love? Or is it envy or boasting? You're jealous of your partner. You're bragging, to your partner about everything that you got or are able to do. Are you arrogant? Or are you rude and disrespectful? It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. Is what kind of love are we showing? It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, being spiteful. Yeah, I got him. I got him back. I got you. You should have saw how I what I did to her. and how many people, the things that I've done. Is that your type of love? It does not rejoice at wrongdoing. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. You know, friends, how are we loving in our relationships with our children, with our friends, with our family members, with our partners, co-workers, church families? How are we loving, friends? What type of love are we showing? Okay, and then it's saying, let me just read this. Love never ends. As for prophecies, they will pass away. As for tongues and languages, they will cease. As for knowledge, it will pass away. Yeah, you'll forget. Yeah, it'll. Now, for we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when the perfect comes, Jesus, the partial will pass away. Do you not understand? When I was a child, I spoke like a child. And I thought like a child. And I reasoned. I'm not. I'm not doing something. Why do I have to? If they don't, Mom, Dad, why me? Why do I have to? I reasoned like a child. When I was a child, I spoke like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, when I became a man, I gave up childish ways. When I became a man, I gave up childish ways. For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, and I shall know fully, even as I have been fully known. So now faith, hope, and love abide. As a man, as a woman, these three, but the greatest of these is love. So, friends, I know this was a long video, and I'm sorry, okay? And I'll learn to shorten them up, eventually. I'm still under 50 videos. I'm getting there. I'll be there by the end of the year, by Christmas time. But right now, I just want to really focus on getting this out there. This is good stuff, friends. If you are in a relationship, you are in a marriage, you are dating, you are seeking, you're seeking, to be or to find a lifelong partner. Friends, we have to take this into consideration, friends, and we should be willing and wanting and ready, to do the research, to put in the time, to develop the skills necessary, the patience, but the skills necessary to love, like adults, to love unconditionally, and to take this sort of thing serious. Friends, we have it in us to do this, and I guess we all love on different or have different love capacities, but you can develop a deeper capacity of love. You can develop that. You can seek it. You have to want it. You have to have the desire first. But once you have the desire and you seek it, and you feel that your relationship is worth putting in that time to seek that information. And if not that relationship, your next relationship is worth that, then you'll seek that, and you'll see, you will become aware of how your love capacity changes. So so yeah, friends, if you have someone that can benefit from this message, please, share it. The I'm gonna try to put the link to the video in the description. So if you want to check that out, take a look at it. Oh, there was another video too that I wanted to show, but I may have to make another video on this. But I think this one, is good. This is good, friends. So if you are seeking someone, if you're in a relationship or you're married, guys, if you're struggling, please, do all that you can, to make that work, or to hold yourself accountable, and and ask yourself if you are capable, of doing different, for the betterment of your relationship. Examine yourself there too, friends. And find someone to talk to, friends. We don't have to, just hold these things in. And how about your partner? Find a way, find someone that can help you communicate better with your partner. Find different ways, to improve that communication. So yeah, that's my thoughts, guys. I hate goodbyes, but this one, is these are my thoughts. So I love you guys. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, like the video, and that's a way to support the channel. It goes a long way to support. Subscribe if you haven't already. Also goes a long way to support. Commenting on the video, guys. If you have, some input, if you have questions, if just want to share your experience and with this, or topic, comment, guys. We are we love the comments, and we will respond to each and every one. So thank you guys again. God bless you. Always remember to be and stay encouraged, and go find someone you can encourage, guys. Go find someone that you can pour into, that you can, uplift, or you know, just give some words of encouragement, guys. It will go a long way. You know how, when you needed it, it meant a lot. Do that for someone else, guys. Thank you. God bless you. And until next time, stay blessed. Peace.